In this video, I thought I'd go over some of the things that we've purchased for Magnus for his care and well-being. Not all of these things are required, it's just things I've picked up along the way. One of the things I thought I'd cover in this video is Magnus's crate, or as we call it, his bed. I get a lot of questions about this, if we lock him in, how big it is, what are dimensions, so I thought I'd cover some of these things in this video. This is Magnus's bed where he goes to sleep and hang out in the afternoons or after meals, but it tends to not be where he sleeps predominantly. That will be at night in our living room in one of his sort of day beds, as we call it. But this is where he goes after meals to sort of chill out, relax and get some alone time. So Magnus's crate, the dimensions of it, it's 30 inches wide, that's about 76 centimeters, 32 inches tall, that's about 81 centimeters, and 46 centimeters long, that's about 117 centimeters. We first got the crate, we weren't sure how big Magnus was exactly and how we'd sleep as far as position wise, so we actually bought the biggest crate we could find, but we got this one second hand on Gumtree for about £10, so very nice buy. To soften the appearance of the crate in our room, we've added a cover on it to make it a bit more den-like for Magnus and a little bit less of an eyesore for us. It looks a bit prettier this way. So inside Magnus's crate, what we have is two single duvets. We've got a cover on the top one just for keeping it clean so we can wash these and keep it clean at all times, but some extra comfort in there. Also, the single duvets fit easier into the washing machine. We've got a little towel for him to eat snacks on just so he doesn't make any mess on the duvets. We can switch this out. And we've got his plastic tray at the bottom and a piece of carpet on the bottom to stop the crate from sliding if he runs in fast. The crate itself, what we've done, we've added some tape to various points to stop it rattling at night time if he rolls over in his sleep, so it doesn't make any large noise. And other than that, that is pretty much his crate. And the door on his crate, it can close and you could lock Magnus in should we wish to, but we don't tend to do that and Magnus doesn't like it very much. But we use this door as a kind of a baby gate to separate the Magnus' space from our space. So it kind of keeps it separate, so he stays out of our bedroom but has access to his crate. But you can lock it if you wish to, but we don't use it for that purpose. There's lots of space inside Magnus's crate. I can even fit inside. Whenever in there fixing the duvet or straightening it up, you can always bet one thing that Magnus will... he'll come right in and force me out. Won't you, Magnus? Yeah. Yeah, because it's your... yeah, roar. Get me out of your den. So that's pretty much it on Magnus's bed or his crate. If you've got any other questions, please just let me know in the comments below. Greyhounds have very little body fat, so a coat is required. The very first one we bought for Magnus was kind of multi-purpose universal coat. It's basically got a fleece lining and waterproof, so it's a very good all-round coat, and we had this for the longest time until we felt with different types of seasons different coats are required. So when it's very cold outside, we've got a sort of wool coat. This one's slightly bigger, but it's good for cold winds to keep them warm and keep them dry. The wool blanket is also quite stylish and stands out quite a bit, which is great when you're appearing in promotional videos for your local greyhound charity. Because I live in Scotland and it rains a lot, one of the very important coats to have was his raincoats. This one we got basically custom made for him, has got his name on the back, Magnus, made by a company called Life of Riley, which you can find on Facebook. It's got a high-vis waistband so you can be seen. It's got a little mesh basically to keep him sort of dry and warm, and it's waterproof with a little toggle on the front. So Magnus doesn't like the rain. It's basically his least thing to walk in, so keeping him dry is very good to keep him motivated to keep walking when we're out for his walks and not just want to stand under a tree the whole time because it's wet outside. One of the things I thought I'd go over now is Magnus's foot care. We had a lot of issues with Magnus getting cuts on his paws and bits of glass in his feet when we first got him. He has very delicate paws from just running on sand and not used to working on concrete. So we bought a bunch of treatments. Some were given to us, some we purchased. They're all kind of sort of gels, kind of very much like Vaseline, which you rub on the foot and it does toughen up the feet. These things we have found do work and are very useful, as Magnus basically has very little issues these days with his paws, so they're worth investing in. There's lots of different types. Let's go label pad hardener. We've also got the mushers, we've got the U-Care, and we've got the Tough Foot. It's all different products available, all kind of do the same sort of thing, but they're all very good for dealing with the pads on the feet of Magnus. In addition to this, we also purchased a little magnifying glass to be able to look at all the things in Magnus's feet, because he has got very small paws and we're getting old, so having a little magnifying glass, and it also has a light on there as well, so it's very helpful for dealing with these injuries. Again, you don't need any of this stuff, we just found this useful because we had a lot of it. It's about every 2 weeks almost we were getting Magnus with a little cut on his paw at first, so we're dealing with a lot of injuries, so having this stuff was very helpful to us. But again, none of it's actually required, but it is all good stuff. Some of the other things we purchased for Magnus's care is some lights. We've got an illuminated collar which you can wear when it's dark outside, and some little clip-on flashlights which we can clip to the lead so we can be seen when walking early in the morning or late at night, especially in the winter time in Scotland. It gets dark about sort of 3:30, 4 o'clock, so having these is very good to keep us safe when walking on the streets or walking along dark roads, so we can be spotted by cars, bicyclists and other pedestrians. So very helpful and very good buys as well. Purchased is brushes and combs. When we first were getting Magnus, we weren't sure what kind of brush we would actually need. So the first one we purchased was this one here. It's got these sort of sharpish pin needles, which is really good for getting some fur out. But it felt maybe a bit sore on his little delicate skin, so we basically got this. Then we also purchased this little silicone one. It's got two sides. You can get your hand all the way in, so it's really good for getting rid of some of Magnus's loose hair. The other thing we use is the shedding blade, which I've put in earlier videos, which is basically a horse tool which is used kind of good for giving Magnus haircuts. One other thing we also purchased was this is a little flea comb. At one point we were worried that Magnus may have had fleas even though he gets his treatment, so we bought this comb just to go through. It's been handy for getting little things out of his hair as well. Really cheap, got on Amazon for I think about £1 or £2, but handy tool to have in the toolkit. But again, these are just the brushes we have. None of these are required, but having at least one brush is probably a good idea for the Greyhound. So I just thought I'd put this recap of the shedding blade in action. It's actually designed for horses, but it's very good for taking out loose hair. Magnus quite likes it because it's like getting a good scratch, but very effective. Costs about £8 on Amazon. There's probably other suppliers as well, but very good buy. We use it quite often, especially when he's molting. It's very good for getting all that loose hair out in sort of one sort of good sitting. It's very effective. Looks like it's going to be quite painful, but it's actually just quite delicate, and Magnus doesn't mind it at all and is very used to having this done to him. Well, that's it for this Magnus video. Be sure to click like and subscribe for more Magnus videos. Thanks for watching.